The NBA landscape is about to drastically change amid the rumors surrounding Jake Crowder. However, trading for Crowder may be easier said than done. In today's video, we are taking a look at the volatile trade market to see what is making it so difficult for teams to trade for Crowder. Plus, we are going to take a trip around the NBA and find 3 potential landing spots for Crowder. So stick around because you don't want to miss a second of this video. First up, trading for Crowder is going to be a tough task. Jake Crowder has proven that he can help an elite team get to the top of the standings, and the Suns seem to fully understand how valuable of an asset they possess with Jake Crowder. But since they have made it clear that they are willing to move the superstar, trade talks between the Suns and other teams have actually slowed down. So what's the issue? The want for Crowder is certainly present, and the desire to trade him out of Phoenix is also present. So on paper at least, this looks like a win-win situation for any team to acquire Crowder and the Phoenix Suns. However, that has not been the case. Trade talks have dwindled significantly, and it appears that the Suns may be to blame. So what is the root issue? According to Brian Windhorst of the Hoop Collective podcast, the Suns have been the reason as to why the trade talks have slowed down because they are not making it easy on other teams to acquire their veteran talent. Windhorst stated that the Suns simply don't like any straight-across trades and have sought a third team to make a three-way trade in order to maximize the assets they get in return for Crowder. Of course, whenever you involve a third team into a trade, it immediately makes things more complicated, and now the market for Crowder may be lower than ever. On the Jake Crowder front, one of the issues is that there isn't a straight-up trade the Suns have liked for him, so they've tried to do these 3-team trades, Windhorst said on his podcast. He continued on by saying they may have to lower their standards. The Suns are in an understandably difficult position because if it were up to them, they wouldn't be looking to move Crowder at all. Crowder asked for a trade out of Phoenix after he internally discovered that the Suns were interested in elevating Cameron Johnson into the rotation at the expense of Crowder. Crowder made it very clear that his diminished role was the main reason for his requested departure from the Suns organization. However, his request is most certainly not at the top of the priority list for the Suns organization. Again, they were never interested in moving Crowder until he made it clear that he wanted to be moved. So it is obvious that the Suns are in no rush to move him and will wait until the right deal comes along. Although, this sparks an issue for both parties. The longer the Suns wait to trade Crowder, the less likely a team is going to pay top dollar for him. Moreover, the longer Crowder sits, the less games he plays and the more disgruntled he gets, making it more likely that he attempts to accelerate the process. While Phoenix never wanted to move Crowder at the beginning of the season, it is now in their best interest to move Crowder as quickly as possible in order to secure the best possible deal. On that note, here are 3 teams that we think would benefit from the addition of Jake Crowder. Starting us off is the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have been pretty much anything but a super team ever since they were given that title from fans and analysts alike following their acquisition of Russell Westbrook in the off-season of 2021. However, that doesn't mean they can't be a playoff contender. Despite the utter failure of Russ since he has suited up for the yellow and purple, the Lakers still have AD and LeBron on their roster, and it is criminal that a team with both of these players fails to make the playoffs again. Moreover, Lonnie Walker has been a huge presence for the team and has helped them at least stay in the hunt for a playoff spot so far this season. But with a record of 19-21 as of this recording, the Lakers are going to need all the help they can get in order to make this year worth it for the Lakers, as they don't have a first-round pick in their arsenal this season, meaning that tanking is not an option. QJ Crowder, his addition to the team would at the very best give the Lakers a huge boost to their starting rotation and would allow the Lakers to stretch the floor way more than they certainly can. In addition to this, the Lakers have been horrendous from beyond the arc, and their shooting percentage as a whole has been abysmal. Crowder would be able to bring up both those numbers and make the Lakers more of an offensive threat from all over the court. At the very least, Crowder gives the Lakers a significantly stronger bench and can help take some of the stress off of LeBron James and keep the Lakers dangerous even when LeBron is off the court. Crowder also works well with players that move the ball at an elite level, and LeBron tends to be at his best when he is surrounded by good shooters, which has not been the case for this entire season. So adding Crowder would absolutely improve the team, at least offensively. Would that be enough for them to make the playoffs? Potentially, but there is no point in not trying. The Lakers need to at least give it it the old college try this year and make it their goal to at least make the playoffs, because once they get into the dance, anything can happen. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks, yet another team with lofty aspirations that are currently failing to meet their expectations. The Hawks are only 2 seasons removed from being 1 game away from a trip to the NBA Finals, and now they are sitting 10th in the East with a record of 19-21. While that's not exactly cause for panic, the Hawks know that their window to improve their team and turn this season around is narrow. But much like the Lakers, the Hawks cannot afford to tank this season. If this team fails to make the playoffs, their star player Trae Young is almost certainly going to request a trade out of Atlanta, and if he's gone, this club is going to be sent back into a rebuild. The Hawks spent a great deal of time in a rebuild in order to get Young, and going back into one simply because you failed to make a trade is silly in my opinion. The Hawks have one of the best players in the league on their hands, and losing him for nothing would be a failure to their fans and to the league. If they want to give themselves the best chance of at least squeaking into the playoffs, they would be wise to trade for Jay Crowder. Crowder would allow this team to become a legitimate contender in the East, as the Hawks are relying on a great deal of young talent with no veteran leader. The Hawks are playing with a lot of talent with no direction, and Crowder could add both talent and direction to this hungry team. Crowder may not be the superstar he once was, but he would bring the leadership that the elite players on this team need, and with Crowder on the Hawks, I think they have a real shot of getting back to the big dance. Coincidentally, the Hawks are trying to tiptoe around the John Collins situation, as his future with the team remains unclear, but trading for Crowder would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Obviously, Crowder is not a long-term replacement, but he is the rental player that the Hawks should be trying to acquire to make the playoffs this season. Moreover, a young talent like Collins would be the piece that potentially moves the needle for the Suns and persuades them to move Crowder into a straight-across trade. The same question that we had for the Lakers apply for the Hawks, as the addition of Crowder does not guarantee the Hawks make the playoffs, but just like the Lakers, the Hawks need to try, or else they will essentially lose a season and potentially lose Trae Young. Finally, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are the only team on this list that are actually living up to their superstar status that they have been given since 2017. The Bucks have been a force to be reckoned with in the NBA for quite a few years, and now all thanks to Giannis Antetokounmpo and the high-end talent they have up front like Jrue Holiday and Brook Lopez. The issue with the Bucks is their depth. When these 3 players aren't on the court for the Bucks, they look like a G League team and are in some desperate help off the bench. Crowder would be an excellent piece that would allow the Bucks to stay dangerous and give the superstar talent on the Bucks a bit of a break. The Bucks currently sit 3rd in the Eastern Conference and have a record of 25-14. However, they are clearly a step behind the Celtics and the Nets in the East. And even if they were to beat both of these teams in the playoffs and make the finals, they would have a difficult time with the likes of the Nuggets, Grizzlies, Pelicans, and Mavs. And if they want to cement their chances of winning a second title, I think Crowder may be the answer. The East alone is going to be a tight race to make the playoffs, and if they get complacent and allow other teams like the Hawks, for example, to improve, they may miss their chance and be left in the dust. Crowder may not be the superstar, sexy addition that teams look to make for a playoff run, but he has veteran leadership, work ethic, and the talent to give this Bucks team a much-needed boost. That's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Where do you think Jay Crowder is going to end up? Which of these 3 teams mentioned do you think he would fit the best on? Do you see him going somewhere else? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. We hope you enjoyed today's content, and we will see you all in the next video.